Hello, welcome to the next installment of The Sojourn of Jesse, and I, of course, am Jesse. If you've seen some of my other videos, you realize this is a channel that's about empowerment, religion a little bit, and a lot of diet and fasting. But I figure I've said a bunch of stuff, but I haven't really said, how sick was I? So this video is going to be discussing some of the things of how truly sick I was in 2021, but also in the decade that led up to my acute liver failure, and so we're going to get into that today. So here is a picture on my intake port of me. That's me when I got here. You can notice I had an oxygen cannulus in my nose, and wow, there's a pretty darn big facial difference. So I'm just going to go ahead and read down this list because it's pretty long, and some of these things, well, this was at the time that I came here. I had chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, morbid obesity, they say from excess calories, which they're right, but it doesn't help that our food is poison either. Acute and chronic respiratory failure with hypoxia, unspecified cirrhosis of the liver, acute on chronic stylistic congestive heart failure, primary hypertension, acute and chronic respiratory failure with hypercapnia, generalized anxiety disorder, morbid severe obesity with alveolar hypoventilation. Sounds deadly. Chronic pain syndrome, obstructive sleep apnea, gastroesophageal reflux disease without esophagitis, hypomagnesiemia, which is magnesium deficiency, left anterior vascular block, personal history of UTIs, acute pulmonary edema, dependent on other enabling machines and devices to live. That sucks. Vitamin D deficiency, mild cognitive impairment of uncertain or unknown etiology, other iron deficient anemias, which is why I had a cannulus. I had five times the atmospheric is what I needed just to live. Non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, which is NASH, I guess that's what they're calling it today. I have arthritis in my knees, and diverticulosis of large intestine without perforation or abscess with bleeding. Whew. Pretty intense list of things, and well, I guess we'll go down the well, we don't need to do that. I took probably over 15 medications that were just to keep me alive. I'm not even, so many, and luckily I got to ditch about all of them but 3, and it's going to be down to 2 here shortly. A couple things I wanted to show you is I do have testing paperwork, and one of the nice things about this is this shows that the date it was collected on was in June of 2023, which was a month before I started keto, or right roughly. My blood sugar is 151. Okay, so I just wanted everybody to see that. And then this one was taken a couple of days later on June 5th. And this one, my blood sugar is 175. Okay. And also I have a lot of other things wrong with, like my potassium, my blood, my red blood cell counts, all that stuff is down. But this is just a little bit of like, how do we know, that this guy is not some charlatan and that he's not just making up lies? Okay, so I have another interesting thing for you. This is a more, it gives the assessment of September 25th from 2023. So it gives the assessment from May 1st of 2024, or March 1st, I'm sorry. And the other one is May 3rd of 2024. Now, the nice thing is that it gives a column for all these, which means that these are the actual testing numbers from 3 different tests. So my highest glucose that I have a testing of is 175, and that was June 5th. So this one is, that's June 5th of 2023. Okay, so this test is September 25th, okay, of 2023. And the beautiful thing about that is, in that little time, my blood sugar went from 175, the 170s, to 89. Now tell me that's not a number that you can live with. And then not too long later, it was March 1st of 2024, so that's basically 6 months later, I'm down to 82. And then moving on down to May 3rd of 2024, my sugar is down to 60. I hope you guys can see that. So this is to show that, yes, what I'm saying is actually the truth. Now, I have other things that show blood. I was on 3 different blood pressure medicines, a water pill, pills for anemia. Like, if there was a pill for it, I guess I was taking it. Also, I found something interesting. That I don't have the information of what my triglycerides are today, but I did find a piece of paper. I did find the test, and this is from June 2nd of 2023, okay, and my triglycerides were 237. I do know, I don't have the paper, but I will bring it out when I find it. I have so many medical records I have access to everything in my medical file. But I did get a test done within the last, I'd say it was within the last maybe like 8 months. And I do remember that my triglycerides were down to, I think it was 121. And so I actually doing this research, I actually found out that, yeah, my triglycerides were 237, which is high. And I did used to be on medicine for that, but I'm not on it anymore. And also I found out some interesting things, that when I did come here in October, I was only 468 pounds, okay, but this comes from December, and I was back up to 525 pounds in December because when I came here, I couldn't pay my rent, so my rent went unpaid and I got evicted. And after I got evicted, I started eating, I was very depressed, and so, what can you do? But I did battle back, and I've had a couple times where I've actually had some instances happen where it's made me feel incredibly sad, and it, kind of broke my willpower for a little while. But that happens to everybody. That happens to everybody. And it's not about it. Sometimes you get knocked down for a while. I can say that I really got leveled and knocked down for a long time in my life. But it doesn't matter how long you're down, as long as you get back up. You got to get back up. And so I'm trying to show you that, because a lot of people say anything, and the reason that these things are not, this isn't a better presentation for you where you can see it and everything, is I am a techno weenie, and technology is just not my thing yet. I'm growing and evolving into it, but I'm getting there. But soon I will get to the point where I can put all these on there, and I can just leave it, and I'll just leave it in categories of blood work, urine, stuff like that, where you can go and see how sick I was and the transitions, so I think those are very important, because they show, that there's, so like with this paperwork, I went from blood sugar levels of 150 to 170 something, and today my blood sugar is 65 all the time. It's between 65 and 70, and it hardly ever deviates from 65, 66. That's where it sits. So if you have blood sugar problems or any other health problems, and you've been dieting and you haven't been seeing results, I really tell you that you really need to try keto. You really, really need to try it. And my further videos are going to be in what to eat, what not to eat, and basically what I eat, because I try to keep it simple. I was at a level of weight where I was basically just teetering on the brink of death. And you don't get read the last rites twice because you're doing good. But that second time woke me up, and then I found an answer. And so I simplified that diet so that because I'm in a nursing home and I don't have a kitchen. So whatever I did, it had to be something that I could use a microwave and be able to continue on my merry way. So this is very doable, especially if you have a kitchen. And like I said, I did this basically on a food stamp card. So if I can do it on a food stamp card, and you have food stamps and a job, and you have a little bit more money to put into it, well, you're going to be able to eat a heck of a lot better than I did. But considering the results I've gotten, and also one of the considerations was I wanted to get here fast. Life does not exist forever on this plane of existence. It does in heaven if you're lucky enough to get there, but we only have a short amount of time on this planet, and I needed to lose this weight quick, fast, and in a hurry. And so yes, I could have had additional foods in there, but it would have cost me time. And honestly, I don't have time. I have time, but not to waste on whether I get to have a little dessert tonight or not. I had enough desserts my whole life. From now on, when I eat dessert, I want it to be healthy, and I want it to be contributing to my health, not detracting from it. So I hope this gives you a little bit of insight on, just how sick I was and where I've come from, because I was literally on death's door. And if I can improve my life, I sure know you can too. You just need the right mindset. And also, please take everything to God. There is a higher power. And I'm not going to debate which one's better or which one's worse. I'm not here to do that. I'm just telling you to believe. And hopefully your faith will bring you to a place where you can move mountains with your Father's help. So I love him very much, and I love all you too. And I just want the best for you, because that's what life is all about. Giving it our best shot. And helping other people along the way. So I promised God I was going to pay it forward, and that if he saved my life, I was going to do everything I could to save everybody else. And here I am fulfilling my promise. You have a great day, and you are loved.